Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Nō mai, haere mai ki tēnei hui. Greetings and a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. I noticed the front row is empty, but some of you will go back there. On behalf of the Taranaki Chamber of Commerce and BARA, which is the New Plymouth Business and Retail Association, a big thank you for attending this Meet the Candidates evening. Let's start with a karakia to invoke guidance and achieve a favorable outcome for this important event. Please join in if you know whakataka te hau. Whakataka te hau ki te uru, whakataka te hau ki te tonga, kia mākina kina ki uta, kia mātaratara ki tai, e hia ke ana te atakura, he tio, he huka, he hauhu, tihei, Māori ora. We would like to have minimum disruption while we have this meeting in progress, is my polite request to everybody. My name is Arun Chaudhary. I happen to have the privilege of leading the Taranaki Chamber of Commerce. And with me today is our advocacy manager and our BARA manager, Michelle Brennan, seated there to my right. And we have some of our team here today. We have Maura Young, Joe White, Fran Sullivan, Megan Lepper, Rebecca Mendy, and I think I've covered the lot. We also have some of our board members here today. We have our chair, Jessica Parker. We have Shane Devlin from our board. And we have one more board member, who is Michelle?
No, he hasn't arrived.
They haven't arrived yet. Okay. Don't want to announce someone's in the room when they're not in the room. Quick housekeeping. Exits are clearly marked. You know what to do. Head towards the green door in case of an emergency. Meet in the car park outside. Toilets are located back down the hallway there. The bar is open, but guess what? You have to pay for your own drinks if you'd like some, and that's only in the break. Right now we want to pay attention to all our candidates. Please respect all candidates and ensure that they have an equal opportunity to speak in their allotted time. So we have 39 candidates, I believe, today, out of 46 that could be the maximum number. So 39 attending, 14 of those are standing for the 5 district-wide ward seats. 19 are standing for the 6 Kaitake and Namotu seats, which is Namotu, obviously, as you know, is New Plymouth City. 5 for the 1 North General Ward seat, and 1 of the 2 candidates standing for the 1 seat in the Maori ward. We do have apologies. They are from David Bublitz, who is coaching a team at national championships. Wayne Williamson, who is away on business. Sarah Lucas, who is out of town with her family. Debbie Hancock, Dewaka McLeod, Christine Fabish, and Jane Parker Bishop. Congratulations to all the current and prospective candidates who want to continue to make this district the best in New Zealand. New Plymouth District Council is our biggest business in this district, in this province. And as the business community, we expect councillors to listen and help grow the strong business community we have. We want you to help with our challenges. We want you to help to re-energize our business districts. And we don't expect you to do this alone. We are there to help, and we definitely will. Meaningful and regular communication between Council, BARA, Chamber of Commerce, that represents businesses, is critical for the success of our district. Tonight, it's your chance to tell us a little bit about yourselves, why you are standing for Council, and the difference that you can make to this great place. The format tonight is as follows. Each candidate will have a maximum of 2 minutes to introduce themselves and enlighten us on what they can offer to the voters. Candidates will speak in alphabetical order of their first name. There will be 1 ring on the bell when 30 seconds remain. 3 rings on the bell when time is up. We will be very strict on the time to ensure a fair go for everyone. We will then have a 10-minute break. Following the break, we will move into questions to the candidates. These questions have been submitted by our members. With so many candidates attending, unfortunately, it is not possible to take questions from the floor. Each candidate will then be asked 1 question. They have a maximum time of 1 minute to answer. Some questions may be repeated. At the close of the event, we would love you to mix and mingle and answer some hard questions over a beer or wine. So let's get started. Are we ready? The audience ready? Our first candidate, and each candidate would come up to the stage, and Michelle will start the timer. First one is Adrian Soul. Please welcome every candidate to the round of applause.
I was first last night too, so great. Okay. Right. Hello, I'm Adrian Soul, and thank you for inviting me to speak. I'm standing, can you hear me all right? Yep. Standing for the council in the Kaiteki Ngāmuru General Ward. I grew up in Warrior, and for more than 35 years, my wife Melanie and I have made our home here in New Plymouth and Bell Block. We love this community, its unique mix of lifestyle, business, hospitality and recreation. We feel fortunate to call it home. It's safe, connected and full of opportunity. My commitment is to protect and strengthen that for future generations. But most will know me from my role at the Taranaki Health Foundation, but I have also served as chairperson for the Puketapu Bell Block Community Board. Together we've been working hard to address years of underinvestment and lack of cohesive planning. It's a big job and it's taught me a lot about how local government works and how it doesn't. But what most don't know is that I've co-owned multiple hospitality businesses for the last 13 years in Auckland and Wellington. And it's bloody tough to be a retailer of any sort. The last 5 years have been a perfect storm: COVID, recession, increased costs, all destroying profitability and viability of our businesses. To compensate, they work ridiculous hours to keep the doors open and have staff employed. And it's exhausting. They need your help. That's why bringing back vitality back to the CBD is so important, to attract locals and visitors alike, to spend time here to shop and to enjoy our great retail and hospitality. But let's be clear, this isn't easy. Is that 2 minutes?
3 seconds to go.
Okay.
Here's 3, you're in trouble.
Okay, so what's the time? What does it mean?
You have 30 seconds.
Okay, right. So to truly partner with the Chamber of Commerce to deliver initiatives that energise the CBD, boasting retail, hospitality and tourism. Create a vitality fund for the Main Street. Retail is managed by the Chamber of Commerce. This fund's dollar for dollar with a cap. And future investments should be co-funded. I'll push for council work with developers and landlords to ensure we get the right mix and achieve real results. Thank you.
Just a quick reminder, so the first, when you hear 1 bell, that's 30 seconds remaining, and then 3 bells is time to make way for the next person. Please welcome the next candidate, Amanda Clinton Godes.
Tēnā koutou, my name is Amanda Clinton Godes, and it's been an absolute privilege to serve as one of your councillors for the last 6 years, and I want to keep doing the work. I'm determined that our district continues to be the incredible place that we love for generations to come. I want it to be a place where all people are supported, where we have a future-ready economy that is ready for whatever challenges get thrown at it, and where we've got an environment that we can be proud of for the next 10, 50, 100 years. At this moment, though, our community is under pressure. I know that rates rises add to that pressure, and that no one, including myself, wants to see big rates rises year after year. At the same time, we have to address decades of underinvestment in our vital infrastructure. We have to increase our resilience to weather events. We need to ensure that our economy is ready for the changes that are, frankly, already here. And we also need to address and answer the multiple reforms and expensive mandates that are coming from government. At times like these, we need people who can stay across all of those issues, navigate a path forward, and strongly advocate for our community along the way. That's exactly what I've been doing this term. I've supported responsible investment in infrastructure. I've spearheaded our climate planning and changed the way that we do insurance so that we're properly prepared. This is probably the most complex and important electoral term of local government in a generation, and we need people in there who understand what they're dealing with. I've consistently demonstrated drive, focus, and care for our community, and despite the challenges ahead, or maybe even because of them, I want to keep doing the work. Let's keep working smarter towards a prosperous, sustainable, resilient future for all of us, not just for us now, but for our children and our grandchildren.
Thank you, Amanda. Our next candidate is Brian Vickery.
Reining in rates without putting a wrecking ball through all the good work that the council has done in the last 3 years. That's the challenge. But the facts are we can't have 4 years in a row of double-digit rates increases. So how do we go about it? We need to be smarter, more innovative and bolder. My name is Brian Vickery, seeking re-election for a second term on the MPTC Kaitaki Ngāmutu ward. Let me give you an example of working smarter. We need to emulate the template of the stunningly successful Destination Karoa, that brilliant collaboration for the Taranaki Foundation, New Plymouth Partners and the council and the community. On budget, brilliant. That is the way forward. So when it comes to the new council, we have reached a bit of a crisis, and I don't want to be negative. We need to bring the long-term plan into year one so the councillors are fully briefed strategically on all the projects. Can we rescope? Can we revision? We don't want slash and burn. Another thing we need to do, we have got about $1 billion worth of capital works in the next 10 odd years. According to the Merrill aspirant there, Max Bruff, we have $10 million per year in contingency. Some basic projects have got contingency of 30%. There's an example where we can trim. We've got to be smarter, bolder and more innovative. Why vote for me? Because I do the mahi, I work hard, 100% show up, but most importantly I love my community. A financial member of the Chamber, I'm positive, pragmatic and aspirational. I share the same dreams as you, but we've got to be real. This is the LinkedIn generation. The majority of people are hurting. I'm asking for your trust and your vote. I'm Brian Vickery.
Thank you, Brian. Next candidate is Craig Tonkin. Please welcome Craig.
Thank you all. My name is Craig Tonkin. I'm standing in the Kaitaki Ngāmutu ward. We need new blood. We need new blood in the council. The guys and girls that are there now have done a great job, but we need to get change and we need to make it happen. A little bit about me. I moved to New Plymouth back in 1977 when I was the ripe old age of 4 years old. My father started on the radio in town and I grew up with him giving to the community. It always amazed me. It always made me feel really proud that we could, as a family could give to the community. However, I had to leave town because I didn't want to grow up in his shadow. I wanted to prove to myself that I could make it for myself, and I did. I went away, moved away, lived in Hamilton for many years, got married there. My wife and I have had businesses in Hamilton, several businesses that were quite successful. When we sold them, we decided to move back to New Plymouth. Our son left home and joined the army. He's now a soldier in the New Zealand Army and doing a great job. And it was time for us to come back here, spend some time with my dad in his more senior years. And I was quite disappointed and felt let down about what had happened in New Plymouth. I've always loved New Plymouth and the region. It's always been my home. It's always been very dear to me. But as said before, we're in the doldrums. We need to make things change. We need to make things happen. As I said before, we need new blood, but we want people that have had businesses like yourselves. We know what it's like. We've employed people. Currently here in town, I manage a local retail store. So I'm out on the cold front every day. I know what it's like. So that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm standing. We need to make a change, and we need to make it now. Vote 1 for Craig. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. The next candidate is Damon Fox. Please welcome.
Hey everyone, my name is Damon Fox and I'm standing in the Kaitaki Ngāmutu ward with support from ACT Local. 33 years old, I'm born and raised in New Plymouth and grew up in some of the most difficult neighbourhoods that we have here in New Plymouth and worked hard to turn my life around. I now work for the Salvation Army as an addictions practitioner, helping some of our most vulnerable people. I'm standing for council today because I believe that the decisions coming out of council are ideological, wasteful and have lost sight of its core purpose. I know more than perhaps most on this stage the effects that the cost of living crisis has on people in our community, on our families, and I think it's irresponsible to keep going down the path that we're going down. In 2022, at the mayoral debate, the current Mayor Neil Holdham said that the #1 issue facing New Plymouth is the cost of living crisis. However, there's little council can do about that. This passing of the buck attitude is unacceptable, and I think we deserve better. We're in over $400 million worth of debt, and we're told, oh, it's all right, we've got the perpetual investment fund. That's like saying, oh, we've got savings, so we don't need to budget, right? It's an investment fund. It's not a cover our debt fund. Now, as I said at the start, I am supported by ACT Local. So you may hear this election cycle people saying more than ever, oh, I'm independent, I'm fiercely independent. And fair enough. At the end of the day, everybody on the stage, I hope, has voted, right? And that says a lot about who they are and how they're going to approach council. So all I'm doing is being upfront about it. If you don't like ACT, sweet as. If you do, then I'm your man. And if you don't, have a look at the principles, because I think they apply to local government and that they're exactly what we need. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Damon. Please welcome the next candidate, David Payne.
Good evening, fellow residents of New Plymouth District. I'm David Payne and I'm running for Kaitaki New Plymouth Ward. Because our community deserves bold leadership to tackle the challenges that we face and unlock our true potential. We've all seen the empty shops haunting our CBD, Motoroa, Waitara and beyond, silent symbols of a struggling local community economy. This vacancy fuels widespread joblessness, leaving our youth and families without hope or stability. Rough sleepers are a heartbreaking reality on our streets amid a deepening housing crisis. And let's not forget the sky-high council rates that burden everyone that's been mentioned before already, especially our baby boomers who have given so much to this region and now face retirement in financial hardship. But I'm not here to highlight problems only. I'm here with solutions. As your councillor, I'll push for a Port Taranaki special economic zone to attract investment, create jobs and boost trade. We'll supercharge tourism by further showcasing our fantastic gardens, world-class event facilities and mountain-to-sea outdoor adventures, drawing foreign dollars from visitors worldwide. I'll champion business innovation like gaming hubs and tech startups to start new opportunities right here in New Plymouth District. Did you know a young fellow just sold a gaming business for multi-million dollars in town here? Fantastic. This won't happen in silos. I'll drive combined efforts from the District Council, local iwi, Venture Taranaki and Chamber and BARA to support our innovative businesses, farming sector and energy industries, turning local strengths into global exports and sustainable growth. Together we can revitalise our district, end joblessness, house our vulnerable and ease rates for all. Vote David Payne, number 1, on election day. Let's build a prosperous New Plymouth district. Thank you.
Please welcome our next candidate, Dini Moyahu.
Tihei wini tihei wana tihei ki ngā mate tihei mauri ora whānau kia ora. Look at everybody. Look over here, the smorgasbord of delicious morsels that are vying for your vote. Kia ora, my name is Dini Moyahu. I am going for the district-wide seat. There are 17 standing for 5 seats, and I'd love to be one of those options. I have served this community with great humility and transparency for the past 6 years, and I am passionate and I love my community. You're going to hear through all the other candidates, you are going to hear the challenges that we face. I want to speak about the opportunities that we have in this community. What we have here, because we're here with the business community, so let's talk business. There are 8 iwi of Taranaki, all who have which have settled. They come with them millions of dollars of assets, hundreds of millions of dollars of value, and guess what? They want to invest right here in Taranaki, right here in this district, and they are looking for partners. They are looking for partners, and you are going to see more candidates who will reinforce that. They are wanting to work together to help find solutions in housing, to help find solutions with our environment, to help find solutions to getting our most vulnerable into mahi and into a safe place. I love this place. I love your vote. Kia ora, vote 1 for Dini. Mauri ora.
Thank you, Dini. Please welcome your next candidate, E.J. Barrett.
Kia ora te wano, my name is E.J. Barrett. I'm running for the Kaitaki Ngā Motu ward. My campaign this year is largely based on libraries, homes, communities. That's what I'm hoping to bring to this space. We want to maintain funding for libraries. We want to make sure that our people are in homes instead of on the streets. We want to make sure that people can stay in their homes that they've got. We want to make sure that people have affordable homes. We want to maintain the public services that hold our communities together during hard times. You're going to hear lots of kōrero tonight about we need to cut back, we need to cut back, we need to cut back. And I get it, rates are hard. But I just want to point out for a moment what happened in Wellington last year when the government slashed jobs in the public sector. The business sector suffered. The economy suffered. If we withdraw that cash injection that our council provides to the economy, we're all going to pay for it. But because we can't afford the cost of neglect. Neglect is expensive. That's why we're in this situation right now, because we didn't maintain the pipes. I have a history in policy. I've contributed to policy at a national level in economic development and in healthcare for vulnerable people. So I have the skills for this job. I also have lived experience that lots of other people here you're not going to find. I'm a solo parent. I was a wheelchair user for a couple of years until recently, so I know how hard it is when your footpath outside your house can't get you out of your house so that you can participate in society, so that you can take your money to your local businesses. So that's why I'm here today, and I want you to vote for me. Thanks.
Thank you, EJ. Please put your hands together to welcome the next candidate, Ewan Darling.
Hello, my name is Ewan Darling. I'm 61 years old and I'm happily married to Karen, and I've lived in New Plymouth my entire life. I've been self-employed for 33 years. I'm standing for council as I feel I can no longer complain about the way our city has been run without putting my hand up to do something about it. I'm not going to pretend to know everything, and I'm not going to make up answers to sound good. I'm a straight shooter and a hard worker. I have a lot to learn, but I also have a lot to offer. Our council has us $406 million in debt and rising. Our council is not listening to the ratepayers in New Plymouth and is not listening to the business owners in New Plymouth. Our council has no business sense because it is full of career politicians and staff that have never had to make a dollar. As a business owner, I know how to balance a chequebook and live within my means. I live by the philosophy that if you look after the cents, the dollars will look after themselves. One of my main goals is to see the CPD become vibrant again. We need to stop the war on cars. I'm proposing that at least the first hour's parking in the CPD should be free, followed by reducing parking fees to $2 an hour thereafter. What's more important, $3 in a parking metre or $20 or $100 in a shop till? A shop that's paying rent, rates, taxes and wages. We need a council that's controlled and run by people that understand business, people who understand how hard money is to earn, thus understanding its value. We need to put business in the CBD first and encourage people to go into the CBD for goods and services. We need the CBD to be safe for people to work and safe for people to visit and move around in. I want a council that listens, and if elected, I will listen to you and be a voice for you at the table. I will argue for the business and the ratepayers of our city. I will be open and honest, and I will do my best for you and our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Ewan. Please welcome the next candidate, Gina Blackburn.
Tēnā koutou katoa and good evening to everyone. Thank you to the Chamber of Commerce and BARA for hosting tonight's event and for connecting the candidates with all you fine people. I'm Gina Blackburn, and I am standing for the North Ward for New Plymouth District Council. I bring to this role a strong background in business. I've owned and operated a tourism business and currently work in the iwi space in residential and commercial developments. I'm acutely aware of the challenges being faced by our construction industry. I understand the challenges that come with running a business, from managing staff and budgets to navigating regulations and delivering results. My platform focuses on supporting local business, encouraging sustainable growth, and building strong communities. I want a council that partners with businesses, reduces unnecessary red tape, and creates an environment where businesses can thrive. I know that when local enterprises succeed, it benefits the wider community, providing jobs, supporting other local services, and driving economic growth. I also believe in practical, sustainable growth. Our district needs smart planning for infrastructure, housing and transport to ensure businesses and communities are well connected, resilient and ready for the future. Finally, I'm committed to strong communities, vibrant, safe and welcoming towns that encourage people to live, work and spend locally, creating thriving centres that benefit all of us. As a councillor for the North Ward, I will bring a practical, collaborative approach, listening to businesses and residents alike and working to ensure New Plymouth continues to be a great place to live, work and do business. Vote Blackburn for number 1 in North Ward. Kia ora.
Thank you, Gina. Please put your hands together for our next candidate, Gordon Brown.
Good evening, everybody. Nice to be here. New Plymouth. It's a district, and you've had council running it. You run your own businesses, you run your household budget. If you can't afford something, you don't buy it. You put it off. You save money, and when you can't afford it, you buy it. Which takes me, of course, to a lovely little street called Queen Street. It's a very small one beside Lenai Centre, but obviously given its name, council decided to give it the royal treatment. And what happened? $3.5 million. I'm sorry, about $3 million of that would have been wasted. We voted 12-3 to go ahead with that. Max Bruff, myself and Murray Chong voted against it because we can't afford it. We want to conduct the council in a business-like fashion. We like to say we're business friendly. And then we put in cycleways, Tim Tams. We have to fight to get the downtown car park reopened because cars are evil. There's a time and a place for everything, and timing is everything. And right now, what we need is prudent management of our assets to work for the benefit of our community. Not just some, not through ideology, but practical way we can create an environment for everyone to do well. And that does not mean cutting services. There's enough fat in that budget for us to feast on and still serve you well. That's my promise. Thank you.
Thank you, Gordon. Please welcome our next candidate, Graham Chard.
My military career, business background, and community leadership experience have proven time and time again the need for a good plan. Councils have a long-term plan that they put a lot of money and time and effort into. And we've just heard about a $3.5 million piece of road that's going to be, your money is going to be spent on, that standing councillors said we have to put in because it was in the long-term plan. Now, basic situational leadership principles say that if there's a change in the environment, if there's a change in what happens on the ground, you need to look at reassessing and, if need be, change your plan. That's what we need to implement, because we've had huge blowouts in projects. We've had $5 million of overspend within the council organisation and their management budgets that we've had to put more money towards to be able to operate. We've had money taken away from us from our roading by central government, and we're still sticking to the plan that we've got. It's fundamentally flawed, and that thinking needs to change. I'm Graham Chard, and I'm standing for the Kaitaki Ngā ward to offer my proven management and leadership expertise and experience to guide a shift in council's direction. I'm standing to provide analytical, strategic and logical approaches to council decision making, and I'm standing to refocus the entire council organisation back towards the needs and well-being of residents, ratepayers and businesses for today, tomorrow and for the future. For strong leadership, real change and a better New Plymouth District, vote Graham Chard. Thank you.
Thank you, Graham. I just want to say a big thank you to all the candidates for sticking to time, and you as an audience for being very attentive and listening to them without distraction. Please welcome our next candidate, Greg Mackay.
Evening, everybody. I'm Greg Mackay, running for council. Really, to be honest, with a lot of the stuff that's going on in our council, we need a whole new crew in there. There's too many spenders, and I'm not one of them. There are $400+ million in debt. For what reason? For the wants and the do's and the haves. I want to see all projects, no more monumental building. We can't afford it. There's no way. And as for the mayor and the councillors concerned, after talking to the CEO, have locked our PIF fund away. So to get that under legislation, so to get that back out so we can utilise it, I'm all boots and all to try and get it back. They had no right to do it. It is our money, everybody's ratepayers, including theirs, but locked it away for future reference, for the future of our children. And what are they doing? Putting us into so much debt that we're not going to be able to handle it. What I'd like to see the community with is our own businesses again. We won't get Powerco back, but at least we can have a power and gas company, providing we can have a provider instead of John Key's shareholders. So that's money coming back into our pockets to help us pay for the debt, and also, hopefully, eventually, that we can lower our rates. But I do not want to see rates go up any higher. I had a lady come to me in the supermarket and she said to me, "Are you running for mayor and councillor again?" And I said, "Yes, I am." She says, my aunties wanted to sell it. Oh, yeah.
Please welcome the next candidate, Ian Cummings.
Hi, I'm standing for the North General Ward. My wife and I recently returned to Taranaki permanently, and it's great to be back. I'm excited about the opportunity to contribute to the future of our district. What guides me are a few simple but very important values. I believe in limited government, personal responsibility and property rights. I believe people have the right to the quiet enjoyment of their lives and property without unnecessary interference. These aren't abstract ideas, they're values that protect every resident and they shape how I think. That's why I believe the best kind of council is one that sticks to the basics, delivers essential services efficiently and spends your money, our money, wisely. I've recently retired after 16 years as a general manager of a company managing oil terminals. Alongside that, I've served 13 years on a school board, 10 of those as chair. Those roles taught me a great deal about governance, leadership, decision-making, accountability, and making tough decisions when they're required. If you're looking for someone with real-world experience who will speak up to protect your rights, who understands that all council spending is taxation and that every dollar council spends is a dollar that you've worked hard for, vote Ian Cummings. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. Our next candidate is John Woodward. Please welcome John.
Good evening, everyone. Normally with the surname of Woodward, I end up right down the back of the list, so this is really throwing me a bit of a curveball. I'm in the middle, so I'll take it. I'm standing for Mayor and District-wide Councillor this year. I was born and raised in New Plymouth. Over the years, I've managed to build a life and business in a few different sectors. Some of those have been included the retail sector, the transport sector, and currently in the training and consultancy industry. I've also spent 14 years in the New Zealand Police, where I got to know exactly what it does mean to serve the community and lead by the best of examples. That job took me from anything from high-risk incidents to natural disasters and just about everything in between, actually. The community here has shaped who I am. I love this place, I'm passionate about it, and I'm really proud and excited to be able to have the opportunity to give back, hopefully post-October. The business community itself, you guys, you are the foundation of this region, there's no doubt about that. You are the risk takers, all of you are entrepreneurs, you're the innovators, you create opportunity, you drive the growth, and you contribute directly to the strength and the vibrancy of our region and our local economy. Simply put, you make our community thrive, and we should thank you for that. I want you to know I'll be a strong advocate for your business, and I understand the challenges that you face because I face them too. As a business owner myself, I do respect the responsibility that you do carry, and I deeply appreciate the contribution that you make to the community. I've released a bunch of initiatives over the last few weeks on both my website and my Facebook page to basically get our business and our community open for business again. I encourage you to have a look at those when you get a moment. As a mayor or a councillor, I'll ensure your voice is heard, your efforts are supported, and that we build a community where the businesses and the people flourish together. Thanks for your time. Enjoy the night.
Thank you, John. Your next candidate is Jonathan Marshall. You go to Jonathan.
Good evening, folks. My name is Jonathan Marshall. I'm a father, a husband, and a business person. I've got one wife, 6 children, 10 grandchildren. And every morning we have my grandkids coming through the door saying, "Hey, Grandpa, second breakfast." So there we go. That's how my day starts. I've been in business for 40 years this Labour weekend as a financial advisor. I've worked solid in this district from that time. The last 6 years I've been chairperson for the Waitara Community Board, and I'm proud of the work that our Community Board has done. I'm asking for your vote as the councillor for the North Ward. Now, I know many of you here aren't residents within the North Ward. I know some of you will know people who are, so I'm asking for your good word. At the same time, I'm also asking for you who vote for Ngā Mutu and at large to actually vote for councillors who will be good team members. One of the experiences I've had in the last 6 years as chairperson for the Waitara community is noting that when I joined the community at that stage as a chair, I noticed a lot of groups within our community actually not working together but working against each other. I'm strong on growing communities, I'm strong on infrastructure, I'm strong on connectivity. That includes public transport, includes walkways, and includes making sure that our infrastructure actually works and provides for a resilient community. That's where I'm strong on. I've enjoyed seeing the last 6 years the tremendous growth that we've had in Waitara and in our district in regards to the money that was being spent and used properly. We've watched it, we've had hands-on all the way through. So people, I'm asking for your vote. Number 1, North Ward, Jonathan Marshall. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jonathan. Please welcome your next candidate, Kerry Vossler.
Hello, I'm Kerry Vossler and I'm standing for the Kaitaki Ngā Mutu ward. I'm a 3rd generation business owner, and for the last 20 years I ran Chaos Cafe after establishing it. We won many awards over the years by maintaining standards and passion in the industry. So setting up a business means investing your own money and often working a lot of extra unpaid hours to make it a success. You pay your staff, you pay your rates, you pay your suppliers, you pay your taxes, you pay the bank. You understand that every dollar counts. New Plymouth District Council is seriously letting down the ratepayers by mismanaging the money that is collected as our rates. There are many, many cases of blown budgets, changes to projects after plans have been drawn up, roads being ripped up multiple times within a short time frame because no one has consulted other departments within council. The list is huge, I only have 2 minutes. Our mayor is the employer of the CEO, who in turn employs all 530 staff. Our current mayor is also on the executive of the Local Government New Zealand. This organisation wants to use ratepayers' money, our own money, to advertise to stop a rates cap. Time to ditch Local Government New Zealand, which us ratepayers pay $80,000 annually to belong to, and start serving the owners of New Plymouth District Council, us the ratepayers. So my positive attributes that I will bring to council are my passion, my ability to talk and listen to a very wide range of people, and my financial acumen. My negative attributes are my impatience and the angst that I feel towards this council for the lack of empathy towards residents and business owners. And lastly, my ADHD, which means I drive a bit fast sometimes. So if you like what I say, vote V for Vossler. Thank you.
Thank you, Kerry. Please welcome the next candidate, Lani Mackie Hunt.
Kia ora te whānau. Bear with me, first time. Kia ora. So I did have a big chat GPT all done up for this speech, but it's not me. All right, so I'm literally standing here for our less fortunate, our beneficiaries and our low-income people. All right, I think you've heard what we've been doing in our community and what we've witnessed in our community with all our wharekore, our homelessness that's around, and what we're doing is not enough. So our Band-Aid, this is what we're doing. It's just a Band-Aid. We're the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff that's doing something, but we want to stop it at the top. The thing is, the drugs and alcohol need to stop. The methamphetamine needs to be knocked on the head, and we need to hit our people and tell them what they're doing. Even going straight to the gangs, whānau, and letting our children tell them what they're doing to us, because they're killing our future, they're killing our people, and you can see it on the streets every day. All right. So that's my first call of that. The thing is, our council is putting money into things that ain't going to work, and even with the $800,000 that have given to YMCA whānau, I don't agree with it. All right, you're trying to put our people into a facility that is Pākehā, I'm sorry, English made, but you're trying to put Māori in it. Okay, so you're trying to create something with our people in a Pākehā structure. It don't work. You got to open our marae. Our maraes need to open. Our people need to stick together and open those doors. Not just our maraes, our churches. You have people sleeping outside those doors, and you pray inside. Okay, that just doesn't sit right with me. I was homeless 20 years ago. I am here to stand for what's right. Vote for Lani Meki Hunt for Kaitaki Namutu.
Thank you, Lani. Please welcome your next candidate, Mark Costa.
Right, I'm standing for the general ward. Right, what's the bits of paper here, sorry. So, my name's Mark Costa. Bit of background stuff about me. Grew up here in New Plymouth, high school in the early 70s. Worked at the local county council, then a stint operating dozers for the Forest Service down south before completing my first degree in anthropology and psychology at Otago University. Back to New Plymouth in the 80s, wife, kids, mortgage, etc., and working locally for the probation service for nigh on 20 years. Back then, New Plymouth was a vibrant and prosperous part of the country, and a great place to both live and bring up children. Sadly, it is not that place now. More on that later. A change in politics within the public service, again, a bit like councils it seems. So time to get out, and get out I did, but not before completing a postgraduate degree in social science and social policy, and fine-tuning a number of interpersonal and organisational skills. You never really stop learning, do you? Took my skills and expertise elsewhere. Another postgrad degree in occupational safety and health, some UK qualifications, and then end up commuting back and forth all over Southeast Asia as a consultant for a number of oil companies. Boy, have I been and seen some places. I could have just sat back and mumbled into the froth of my coffee, as so many have done, about rates, the nonsense around cycleways, rough sleepers, and the irresponsible spending. Or I could be part of the solution. So, if you're wanting the warm, soothing, false promises, holding hands and singing Kumbaya, I'm sorry, I'm not your guy. I don't have much time available to me, so here it is. New Plymouth just cannot go on like it has for the last 6 years or so. Change is needed, along with some grown-up thinking around both the city itself and supporting commerce and innovation. Change is coming.
Thank you, Mark. Please take a seat. Please welcome your next candidate, Michael O'Sullivan.
Hi, my name's Michael O'Sullivan. We need to break the cycle of increased spending, which becomes more debt, leading to higher rates. A change is needed at the council table. We need to get better balance going forwards, or we can expect the same results. We have too many academics, not enough blue collars. I will bring to the council years of civil and infrastructure experience to ask the right questions about scope, methodology and risks. There is always more than one option available, but council seems to be behind the 8 ball. Fitzroy Beach access springs to mind. Infrastructure should always be a priority, and neglected maintenance will turn into higher costs. Contracts need to be protected from, the council needs to be protected from major cost overruns. A classic example is the thermal dryer costing over $70 million. And the biggest threat to the city is the water supply. We have a single water supply supplying a whole of New Plymouth and Waitara and north of Waitara. We have water infiltration into the sewage system at great cost for pumping stations. Council are good at building, but are poor on maintenance. We have reduced street sweeping. As you will notice, all the gutters blocked. When it rains, we get surface flooding. This all needs to stop. I could go on, but simply I ask for your vote. One for Michael O'Sullivan. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Please welcome your next candidate, Mike Morrissey.
Hello everybody, my name is Mike Morrissey, standing for Kaitaki Ngāmutu General Ward. Bit about me, I come from Okato, so I'm a local Taranaki boy. I've served in the military. I'm an ex-New Zealand athlete for Athletics New Zealand, #1 in 2013 with a silver fern in the wardrobe. I now run a charitable trust around mental health issues. It's called Hope Walk New Plymouth Taranaki Charitable Trust. We've been a charitable trust for 1 year. So we put hygiene packs into homes and schools around Taranaki with the help of Toy Foundation as our funders and our community supporting us. I'm a local boy. We need to make change in our community. All this wasteful spending and everything that the council are currently doing, they're not listening to our business owners who support my trust. They're not listening to our community. We need to be together. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a city to raise a community. So let's work together. Vote 1 for Taranaki, vote 1 for Mike Morrissey. Let's go, boys. Let's go, girls. We need this. We need to make this change happen. I'm hard. On September the 13th, we're raising money for the air ambulance at the New Plymouth Club. $50 a ticket, $500 a table. Please support us. Come into that event so we can raise the money for that air ambulance. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mike. Please welcome your next candidate, Moira Irving George.
Good evening. I'm standing for Kaitaki Ngāmutu. I first stepped into governance 35 years ago after the sudden death of my daughter made me realise advocacy requires action. I was subsequently appointed to the Taranaki District Health Board. Since then, I've served in many governance roles, including 12 years as a Taranaki Regional Councillor. At around the same time, I became one of the first registered financial advisors in Taranaki. I've worked hard and I've helped hundreds of people who have also worked hard to secure a future for themselves and their families. I understand what it takes to succeed and I know exactly what it looks like when bureaucracy gets in the way. I'm standing for New Plymouth District Council because I want bureaucracy to get out of the way. Our council shapes the playing field for business and residents here in New Plymouth, and I believe this council needs to do better. Rates are high, a huge issue. Consents are slow, the costs are too high. Parking charges amongst the highest in regional New Zealand. Vacant office space across New Plymouth growing, rough sleepers taking our streets. We can't ignore the loss of oil and gas. That transition left a real gap in high-value employment and in business confidence. Council must step up and engage directly with local business to diversify, to create the conditions for new industries to grow here. Council's job should be to make it easier, not harder for business. And when it comes to awarding council contracts, I'm interested in capability, not preference. Contracts should go to the best business for the job. And wherever possible, that should mean local businesses, even if it costs a little more. Keeping work with local firms supports the people who live, work and employ here. So I'm Moira Irving George and I'm standing for Kaitaki Ngā Mutu, and I would really appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Moira. Please welcome your next candidate, Murray Chong.
Oh, yeah, well, 2 minutes isn't much. So I did have some flyers I was going to hand out, but apparently I'm not allowed to do that. So I'll just tell you what they're all about. And if you want one, come and see me, but I'm not allowed to hand them out. But the most important thing is on the flyer, there's a QR code there. 2 minutes, I can't say what I want to say, but that puts you to a YouTube channel. Please subscribe, it gets the message out to you, and there's hundreds of hours of video footage of what I stand for. I'm sick of this council not listening to the people, not listening to the businesses. We need to do it another way. And I feel what we need to do, everyone gets our rates bill. You see there's another QR code on there. Can you imagine if you had a QR code on your rates bill and you could actually just scan that and it puts you to a questionnaire, 3 questions every 3 months of where you stand. You just go yes, no, not sure on each 3 of those questions, and then you press send and it's done. How many hundreds of thousands of dollars would we save in consultation? And we get the real stats. We get the stats of where you live, your age, so we get the real stats of the people. And you don't have to take time off work to come and do deputations. So have a think about that. This time round is huge. This will be my 5th term. And I tell you what, I'm frustrated. I've been frustrated for the last 4 terms. I've got some really good ideas, but I can't implement them because they won't get the numbers around the table. I believe we can have the numbers around the table, and I believe it is a 2-horse race. Max and myself as one of the deputies, and then you've got David and Amanda. We want others that think like us, self-employed people. And the most important thing is, Max and myself, 70 years self-employment. Our competitors, I don't think they have any. I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Murray. Please welcome your next candidate, Muz McDowell.
Good evening. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. What an honour and a privilege. My name's Murray McDowell, aka Mullet Man Muzz. And yeah, well, I'm here. Well, I tried for mayor. Thank you, whoever, if there's any of you, for the 992 votes. I had a go. Learn from it, build a bridge, get over it. So why I'm standing here now is because I've got an invite from these kind hosts to come along and you people to listen to what I've got to say at the end of the day. This is my first public speaking. I'm not going to do too many. I'm not answering questionnaires. If you want to answer, come see me face to face. You can ring me if you can get my number. Right, this is an opportunity for me with the odds. There's 19 candidates in the Kaitaki Ngā Mutu ward. I've got a 1 in 3 on average chance of getting in there. Right back in 2019, that's where I started doing what I need to do. You need authenticity? Look at me. You want honesty? Vote for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Muz. Please welcome your next candidate, Nigel Jones.
Kia ora, my name's Nigel Jones and I'm proudly born and bred here in New Plymouth. Over the years I've developed hands-on business skills and a broad range of life experiences that I believe can benefit our community. I've started and run 2 small to medium businesses, and this has helped me develop strong expertise in finance, compliance and team leadership. Community has always been at the heart of what I do. I've volunteered with groups like Taranaki Mountain Ales and served as the Taranaki branch manager for New Zealand Institute of Safety Management. Right now, I'm honoured to be the president of the Friends of the Gavette Brewster Art Gallery, Lenlai Centre. During breaks in my career in the oil exploration industry, I've studied a variety of courses at WIT, from applied information systems to organic horticulture. Most recently, in partnership with the Chamber of Commerce, I completed a 10-week introductory course in Te Reo Maori. This has deepened my connection to our region's rich cultural heritage. As the gas industry scales back, I believe it's more important than ever to ensure that WIT continues to thrive and contribute to our future in the region. I want to help ensure that we remain adaptive, resilient and forward-thinking. If elected as your councillor, I'll be approachable and engaged, always listening first, acting thoughtfully and working hard to ensure that every voice in our community is heard. Together, let's shape a strong, smart future for New Plymouth. Thank you.
Thank you, Nigel. Please welcome your next candidate, Nikki Truman.
Kia ora koutou, ko Nikki Truman, tōku ingoa. I'm standing for the Kaitaki Ngā Motu ward. This is the first time I've put myself up for election. I've spent the last 30 plus years living in Taranaki, beautiful, beautiful city. I wasn't born here, but 30 plus years raising 3 children. I've learnt to love this city and want to give back. For the last 20 plus years, I have worked at the Polytech at WIT, Western Institute of Technology. For half that time, I was a tutor, teaching across several departments, but for the last how many years, 11 years, I have been the career advisor, where I've been guiding not just young people, but talking to their parents, second chance careers, long-term unemployed, guiding them to a better life through education. I have seen the people of Taranaki. I know what the problems are, the struggles are for lots of people, not just ratepayers here in New Plymouth. In my leisure time, I'm involved with the performing arts, with involvement with the New Plymouth Operatic Society and several choirs along the way. In fact, I'm missing practice tonight. Everything I do, I don't promise to have answers for everything. What guides me are 3 very strong principles of sustainability: economic sustainability, environmental sustainability, and social sustainability. They're not working in isolation, they all work together. So I can promise if you elect me, Nikki Truman, for council, I will listen, I will advocate, and I will make evidence-based decisions to represent and advocate for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. Please welcome your next candidate, Pete Buse.
We're on a time frame, so I've got to go straight to the point. I'm from the Waitakere, I'm going for that ward. So my profile's all up on the MPDC website, so I'm not going to waste time on that. What we need is a total change in the council chamber, a transparent, open-minded council to all our community, whether you are a ratepayer, renters, business person, whatever. So the mayor, the CEO, the councillors must listen to what these people need and want the most and can afford to do for them as well, rather than pushing their agenda, projects and goals, wasting these people's money when we cannot afford to do the projects like the Sports Hub, Waitara Walkway, Len Line Street upgrade. Maybe in 5 or 10 years when we get our rates bill down to a single digital figures of say 3 to 5% affordable level, so we can all afford to pay our rate bills like we used to, so we aren't forced to sell our homes. This is not on. We have just had a new rugby stadium built, and this council, past councillors, have let this whole of New Plymouth and province down, not even up to the international standards. Once again, how could this been allowed? I call this a definition of insanity. This sort of thing won't be allowed on my watch. The council around the table must know what's going on with their CEO and the council, so we all know what's going on, not those two pushing their own goals and personal agendas. Who are the hell do they think they are? They work for us as the ratepayers in a whole community, the Plymouth Ratepayers Province. We pay them their salary, and a bloody good one at that as well. Thank you for coming and listening to the you councillors today. Drive home safe. Cheers.
Thank you, Pete. Please welcome your next candidate, Peter Moyahu.
Oh, kia ora, folks. I've been in business all my life. My kids reckon it was monkey business, but nevertheless, that sounded better when it was rattling around up here. I've negotiated and been involved with 3 iwi treaty settlements that brought in excess of $200 million into this region. So I'm talking about what I will bring to the council table. I better put my glasses on. At the moment, the Māori economy in this district is worth, in this region I mean, in Taranaki, is worth in excess of $2.5 billion. We inject millions of dollars into the local economy every year. And we do that through property development, housing, hotel accommodation, dairy farming. We are the largest dairy farmer owners in this region through PKW. Fishing, we export crayfish to Asia. Health, we have our own health provider in Tuiora. We employ hundreds of people in our various activities, and we have networks not only locally, nationally, but also internationally. We have our own iwi saver, Ka Uruora, and we are prudent businessmen, and we invest millions into the local economy. But more than that, we also provide hundreds of thousands of dollars every year into education scholarships to lift the education of our people. So these are the values. Oh, I forgot to mention, we also represent 20% of this district's population. So these are the values, networks. Oh, thank you.
Please welcome your next candidate, Ross Johnston.
Good evening, everybody. It's a privilege and an honour to be here to put my candidacy forward to you. Great to see some young people here taking notice too. We need many more of you coming along to take interest in business. A bit about myself. A career dairy farmer from South Taranaki. My wife and I started from scratch and built a business through hard work and determination from nothing to quite something. But that's along the way developed financial skills. As part of that, got elected to Shareholders Council, school boards, presided over tennis clubs, did a whole bunch of stuff to help communities, and feel that I have the financial and the governance and the representative skills that are required around a council that probably needs to listen more to the people. We've got the business community here tonight. We've got Maori business over here with a whole pocket full of money. There are ideas. I was talking to Peter about it earlier.
Yes.
I think we have we have a beautiful city here, but the thing that really bugs me, and the reason why I'm standing, is that we seem to have no cost control over projects that are run. And that's really my slogan is we can do better. I think we can run the business a lot better. And you've got to have a look at the Deloitte's review over contractual work that's been done, and it's quite damning. 400 million running out. Well, maybe it's quite a lot more than that. So I want to try and bring it into line and offer you a staged retreat to a more capped level of rating that people can afford, and stick to the basics for the time being. If you don't hear from council, it's because we're putting pipes in the ground for a while. Then we'll get on to the luxury items.
Thank you, Ross. Please welcome your next candidate, Sam Bennett.
Good evening, everyone. Let's be real and I'll cut to the chase. Times are tough. Rising living costs and skyrocketing rates are hitting households and businesses hard. I feel it too, as a ratepayer, as a community member, and someone that is ready to lead. That's why I'm re-standing as a district-wide councillor to bring progressive, experienced, intergenerational leadership that will be grounded in real, accessible outcomes, not just talk. Going to focus on two things tonight: a fairer rating system. Our rating system is broken, complex, redundant and unfair. MPDC is one of just 29% of councils using land value, while 71% use the capital mix value. The result? Confusing and unfair differentials across commercial, residential, rural and small holdings. It is not working and it is time to fix it. My solution? A pure capital rating system with no differentials, just fairness. Urgent intervention is required via a full rate review aligned with the long-term plan 2737, and I'll fight to make that happen for you. Another key focus tonight: vibrancy and the business confidence. Empty shops are hurting everyone. Our business community deserves trust, support and collaboration. They've asked us to consolidate commercial space, and that's achievable through our CBD spatial planning strategy. I actively engage and I pledge that with our chamber and you, the business community, to co-create solutions, not just talk, but to act. Proof and delivery and vibrancy. West End, Queen Street Precinct. You wanted it, we delivered it. Downtown car park revitalisation. You asked for it, we delivered it. Downtown arcade project, that's a public-private success. You asked for it, we delivered it. Promises made and promises kept. In conclusion, I give a damn, I show up and I listen and I will act. It's time for a change. Vote Sam Bennett. Woo!
Thank you, Sam. Please welcome your next candidate, Sarah Sutherland.
Kia ora, tēnā koutou.
Kia ora.
I'm Sarah Sutherland. I'm a professional engineer and I've worked in infrastructure for over 30 years, and that's why I'm standing. because the largest by far expense of our council is infrastructure, which means roads, water, wastewater, storm, and all the things that make an area work, a place work, and hopefully silently. I do not have, well, I've had a little business, but I don't count that. Most of my experience is actually working as an engineer, and I've been on the other side with clients from the council. So I've seen it all. I've seen it when things have been done well, and I've seen things when they're stuffed up, when things been done by very, I just say sort of personal interests that come through. What I do understand is about keeping projects to cost. That first of all, you actually need to have a proper scope. One of the other candidates talked about that, because you actually got to know what you want to do and get everything pretty much sorted out before you start tendering it, because that's when the costs can really go high. And another thing is that I like to mention is that I don't assume that just because you did something like that the last time, you don't necessarily do it this time. Is that a thing? Other speakers spoke about WIT. I thoroughly support WIT. In fact, want to more than retain it. I would think that we should look to elevate it, because we need to keep young people in the district, and I like the idea of partnering with a university and offering first-year courses, because if we don't look after the young people in this area, it's going to die. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Sarah. Please welcome your next candidate, Sean Clare.
G'day, my name's Sean Clare. I am going for the district wide. What I would like to see is a monorail to go from each town. I would also like to see a theme park with water slides. I would also like to see a NASCAR track, but we can't afford it. That's how bad it sounds for business people like myself when we hear the people behind us go, we need this, we need this, we need this. That's what it sounds like. The debt, I worked out the debt. If we had to pay it ourselves in a mortgage for ourselves, the interest only would be all of Inui, Bell Block and Waitara. That would only pay the interest. That's how bad it's got, the spending. There's ways to fix it. What the problem is not really what they're spending the money on, it's how they're spending it is the biggest problem. I think to fix those issues, I think the invoices themselves should be put publicly on their website for contractors so we all can see what they're doing. That would fix a lot of that issue. But what we have in the district is we've got people that can't afford to have heating on, can't afford food. It's a big mixture of people, and the problem we have is people don't care about each other. They only care about themselves, and it's getting worse. So to fix that, once again, I actually want to see the councillors themselves don't have any control over that. What I'd like to see is I've made a little diagram up with an app, and all the non-essentials is optional, and you get to put money towards that, the likes of the Lenlai, the Walkaway, the Sports Hub, and that way it'll bring the rates down for people that can't afford it, and those projects can still go along, but it'll just take a little bit longer, and we can fundraise for the rest, and that way everybody can get what they want. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Please welcome your next candidate, Simon Chadwick.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Simon Chadwick, Taranaki born and bred. I'm running district-wide. This community is home. I'm here to see it thrive. I'm here tonight with my lovely wife, Alessandra. With over 17 years in IT engineering, running my own business, and over a decade on a local church community board, I've learned what many of you experience daily. Every dollar counts. Delays cost jobs, and certainty is priceless. Right now, companies like yours face rising rates alongside restrictive council policies. Local shop owners are frustrated about inconvenient or reduced parking availability, while others are squeezed by building consent delays and unpredictable processes. These aren't just nice to fix, they'll directly impact your bottom line. Here's what I stand for: a council that lives within its means, a commitment to immediate parking access, increasing capacity, simplifying rules, and keeping customers moving and not worrying about tickets. Streamlined, predictable consenting so you can build or expand without red tape holding you back. I believe in user pays, not hidden subsidies. If you benefit from a facility, you should pay for it. I'll bring financial discipline, like tracking business cash flow, not blanket spending, and I advocate for infrastructure that supports commerce, functional roads, reliable water, and sensible zoning that encourages investment. Simply put, when your business succeeds, our region wins. If you want a council that sharply cuts waste, ensures easy access to customers, and helps businesses grow with less hassle, I'd be honoured to earn your support.
Thank you, Simon. Please welcome your next candidate, Stephen Francis.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Kia ora. Kia ora. I'm Steve Francis, and I'm standing district-wide as councillor. I'm also offering a unique and necessary set of skills for council. I'm also standing for financial stewardship, community heart, and being very future-focused. I'm a born and bred Taranaki boy. I've got an international family, 20 years experience in Europe. I've got a diverse set of professional skills, including being a finance director, being a general manager for Sustainable Taranaki, setting up or co-founding 2 renewable energy cooperatives, and also being a board audit chair in an international NGO, amongst other things. At a community level, I'm involved in community gardens, Mawhao, Waitara, been involved in the trapping and the kaitakis, and also co-founder of the recently created Community Energy Taranaki. If I'm elected, I'll focus very much on taking care of the infrastructure, making smart, informed decisions for current and future generations that provide value for money. I would also lobby central government, or work with others to lobby central government to ensure that WIT continues to flourish in Taranaki, and that we get our share of GST to support local housing and infrastructure growth. I'd also work with ensuring organisations like Venture Taranaki, the Chamber, BARA, to serve our business community. So if you think that these skills and my values align with you, vote Steve Francis, number 1 for district-wide. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Thank you, Steve. Please welcome your next candidate, Tina Koch.
Kia ora everybody, my name is Tina Koch and I am a wife, mother, Taranaki born and bred, as most of my family have been for generations. I'm a mother of 6, so the vitality of Taranaki is very, very important to me. I want our children to be able to grow up in a vibrant, sustainable environment, and at the moment I have some concerns about that. So one of my reasons for actually coming and doing this, standing up here, is because I believe in the importance of community consultation. I currently run the the CISO market in New Plymouth, and have done that for 7.5 years. And in order for it to continue to grow, communication and consultation with every member is vital. Working with the likes of the Chamber, Young Enterprise, ensures that we actually work with our individual groups, finding out what their needs are, what are barriers that they have, and how we can actually make it more sustainable. I get nervous when I'm standing up the front, so don't mind me if I'm shaking. Thank you, Sam. So to me, it's really, really important that communication and consultation occur, and I think that we actually need to listen to all the groups, not just a few. And I see at the moment we have a diverse group. We need to be talking with all our different sectors, all our iwis. I mean, council's role, yes, we need to be looking at infrastructure. We need to focus on the core things: roading, water, waste. These are the things that if we don't fix now, they're going to be more and more of a burden in the years to come. So if you want someone different, someone that's just passionate about the place that they live and the future that we can have for our children and generations, vote for me. Tina Kosh, district-wide.
Thank you, Tina Kosh, and my apologies for mispronouncing your name. Please welcome your next candidate, Teresa Gooden.
Good evening, I'm Teresa Gooden and I'm standing in the district-wide ward for the New Plymouth District Council. I'm an artist and a self-employed natural health practitioner, and I've recently relocated my clinic and studio to the CBD in New Plymouth. And I'm really looking forward to being part of the vitalisation of the central city. And in November, I'm going to be opening my art studio for 10 days to the public as part of the Taranaki Arts Trail. I studied at the Wanganui Art School and spent 10 years working in Wanganui for economic development agencies, for the District Council and for community organisations. And the focus was developing and promoting arts, culture and heritage, which is really big there. It's their main thing, you know. And I was the glass project manager, and I coordinated the collaboration between artists and businesses and institutions to put Wanganui on the map as the centre of excellence for glass art. I coordinated the Wanganui Festival of Glass, and the highlight of that festival was Glass on Main Street. And we paired up glass artists with businesses on the main street, and they put their glass in the windows during the festival. And it was a huge success, and it brought a lot of visitors, and it vitalised the CBD, and the glass artists actually started selling their work. I saw firsthand how the economic benefit can come from cross-sector collaboration, and how that synergy vitalised the central business district, and how the arts can actually draw high-value visitors into our region. This is the kind of creative collaborations and initiatives that I want to champion in our district. Today, with the cost of living, I sense that a lot of small businesses are struggling, and I want to see council playing a stronger role in supporting businesses, and I will advocate for you at the table. I bring creativity, experience and a collaborative spirit to the table. I've served 2 terms on the Kaitaki Community Board. I bring experience and fresh blood to the council table. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. I think you'll all agree that it takes a lot of courage to stand for council. Yeah? And that's why the rest of you are sitting, and the brave people are sitting up here on the stage, me included. I'm so scared. So let's give them a huge round of applause for putting their hand up. We'll take a 10-minute break now. Remember, the bar is open, and we'll see you back at 7:10. Thank you, folks, for returning to your seats. Are you having a good time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Much louder yas from the stage. Okay, thank you once again for your time and for being here. Moving into the second half of the evening, just a quick reminder as to the format for the rest of the evening. We're now going to move into question time for the candidates. There will be one question to each candidate. Remember, these questions have been submitted by members of our business community, and each candidate will be asked that one question. They have a maximum time of 1 minute to answer. There will be no timing bell with the 1 minute. It's really a bit of an interruption to have a bell. So, yeah, when the bell goes, please wind up and your answer and have a seat. Like I said, there may be some questions that are repeated because we haven't had 40 questions. So we might ask one question to more than one candidate. So are we ready to go for it? Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Michelle, all good? Thank you. All right. Again, Michelle and I will be seated there at that desk, and candidates will be called up. We'll go in that same order, so you don't get confused. We'll start off with Adrian, and come up to the stage. We'll ask you your question. Don't stall for time because you're going to, as soon as the question is asked, your time will start.
That's right, Kaz. You're
Oh,
right.
can't even think about it.
Interesting. Box of chocolates.
Let's get started. Some of the questions are a bit lengthy because there's a bit of an introduction. That's how we received them. There is a large shopping complex already at the Valley, another proposed at ex-Ravensdown site, and Bell Block is expanding rapidly. This will lead to a large increase in traffic, particularly it is already congested at intersections like Smart Road. Should Council accelerate plans for a second road to bypass the Devon/Smart Road intersection and ensure that the route north out of New Plymouth is not compromised?
Oh, that's a great question. That takes a shit ton of money to do that. And I really don't think there's any appetite for it. So, should we plan for it? Absolutely. And it actually already has happened. There's already designs in place for that, and actually it's in some of the long-term plan budgets to start scoping that. But it's not an easy thing. Should we have another bridge to provide resilience? Absolutely. It's a good way for us to bypass heavy traffic. Great idea. But it costs hundreds of millions of dollars to make that investment. So, yep, we need to plan and think about it, but the reality is who's going to pay for it. So, yep, I would agree and support the idea of that initiative long term, but in the short term, it's not something that we can afford. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Amanda, for coming up to the mic. Your question is, there are many projects already budgeted for in the long-term plan. Which ones are high priority for you to support? Or are there some you would like to be thrown out? What do you think that you might achieve as an individual councillor? That's the second part of the question.
That's like 3 questions. All right. Look, ultimately, the long-term plan is about decision-making alongside our community, and I'd be the first one to say that we haven't done that perfectly all the time. The consultation process and limits around that make it a really difficult job to properly consult with our community about what your priorities are, actually. For me, because we've heard very clearly from our community that infrastructure and continued investment in that, particularly in renewals and maintenance, is important. That's got to stay top priority because it also saves us money in the long term. Another priority for me has been around particularly climate adaptation planning. Again, the weather patterns are changing and it is coming and we need to prepare, and the sooner we do it, the cheaper it is. And then it's around making sure that we are supporting the vulnerable in our community, and for me that means housing. It means affordable housing across the district. It means quickening, sharpening our consent processes and planning so that houses can actually get built. Kia ora.
Well done. Thank you, Amanda. Next question is for Brian Vickery. Brian, there has been a noticeable decrease in revenue and people coming into the CBD. This is about parking, by the way. To the CBD, particularly since the increase to $3 per hour and the new parking meters were installed. Do you think there should be paid parking in the CBD, and would you support a time-limited period of free parking?
The idea of the first hour being free has got a lure. I don't like throwing officers under the bus, and the buck stops with us, but the new parking meters were, and it's a matter of debate, that they were implemented without fully consulting us, and we didn't quite approve it. And if you can use the technology, it works brilliantly. I've advocated with Wild Pear. They lost quite a few older people of an older demographic because they didn't have the coin thing. We put it up to 3 hours. There's been a noticeable decrease, but I think we have to, while we've responded with love, the rough sleeping whānau phenomenon we've worked on, that hasn't helped. So it has been a little bit of a perfect storm. If we were to have the 1 hour, what could be the rates implication? It could be between 300 and 700,000. So it's fraught and it's nuanced. I think that's me trying to be brutally honest.
Thank you, Brian. The next question is for Craig Tonkin. Craig, what are the main sectors that you believe money needs to be spent on by council, and where would that money come from?
That's a really, really good question. I've always said right through on my Facebook page, infrastructure, getting back to basics. We need to get that sort of thing right. The infrastructure, we need to have the water in, water out, that sort of thing done first and get that done right. Where would the money come from? A lot of the wasteful spending. I don't think we need to raise rates. They will go up small amounts with CPI and everything, but we don't need to raise rates because there's enough money that's been wasted that we can spend a lot better and get it done, get the infrastructure set up, get the place running right, and then we can look at other things from there on. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. The next question is for Damon Fox. Damon, there are quite a few empty and or rundown buildings in the CBD for various reasons. This includes absentee landlords and earthquake strengthening costs. In your opinion, should there be a requirement for property owners to maintain buildings to a high standard even when empty? If so, what do you believe is the solution?
Yeah, it's a great question. So at the end of the day, I believe in the free market. So I am very judicious in making any kind of pledges or commitments to having to force someone to do something. At the same time, we are all, we all experience the CBD. So yeah, I think there should at least be front-facing. It should be looked after. Whether they should be forced to sell if they don't, if they're no longer open for business, that's another question. But yeah, I think at the very least, I think your question specifically was, should they be looked after or kept as opposed to open? And yeah, I think there should be a level, an expectation of presenting, because it represents our city. Cheers.
Thank you, Damon. Can I just request that speakers, while the question comes from here, just keep facing the audience. It's natural to turn to face towards the person who asks you, but then your voice doesn't carry too well sometimes. The next question is for David Payne. And the question is, should a ring road for heavy traffic vehicles to the port be a priority? And would you support this infrastructure project?
Absolutely. I think the heavy traffic ought to be diverted away from the central area. It's not our decision to make alone. That's a NZTA project for sure. So it's going to be government level kind of thing. But in principle, that's a project I'd support for sure. I've been to cities where they've done this kind of thing, and it is such a benefit. It's not a road that you would primarily use for domestic travel. Its principal purpose is for heavy traffic away from residential areas. So yes.
Thank you, David. Next question is for Denny Moyahu. Denny, the city centre strategy plans for a diversity of retail, cultural and social experiences. However, there are hundreds of rate-paying businesses in the CBD who are not retailers nor in hospitality. Would you support incentives or rebates for property and business owners to encourage them to stay in the CBD?
Can you repeat the question, please? I mean, I'd love to answer it, Arun, but that's quite loaded, and I'd like a bit more time to digest what you're saying, please.
Okay. So we're talking about the city centre strategy that will help the retailers and hospitality businesses.
Cool.
But there are many ratepayers who are not in hospitality or retail. So they could be commercial building owners, for example. So would there be some incentives or rebates? Would you favour that for these people? Otherwise, they might leave the CBD because there's not much in it for them. So should there be some rebates for them? Is that clearer? Have you had enough time to say?
Cool, let's run with it. In terms of rebates, there's the opportunity for ratepayers to receive rebates from council already. In terms of the retail businesses, what happened post-COVID? What was the industries that were most aptly affected? Retail, hospitality, accommodation. It was actually our agricultural sector that provided a lot of our external exports. But you have the ability to actually build events where everybody benefits. For example, the first post-COVID opportunity that we had was the Winter Festival of Lights. And we had not just the community and the district, we had the region of Taranaki come out and then beyond. So that galvanised that CBD, that added to the vibrancy. And I think we need to be careful if we're looking at rebates specifically, well then it's about fairness, right? And those businesses that did suffer, there was the opportunity to recoup that. So in terms of the answer of the rebates for commercial properties, work with the sector to help uplift the sector, but not necessarily with those rebates. Kia ora.
Thank you, Denny. Next question is for E.J. Barrett. And the question is around the NPDC procurement strategy. We've got a new procurement strategy. I'm assuming you have an idea about it, E.J.?
Yes.
Very good. So what are your thoughts on shopping and procuring local? Should council always use local, even if it may cost slightly more?
Slightly more, yes, because it's really important to build wealth within our community. And so if we're shopping outside of the district, then that wealth that we hold as a community gets exported elsewhere. And so we want to be building our economy, making sure that the velocity of money is increasing at a reasonable rate within our own region. Yeah.
Thank you, EJ, and thanks to everyone. You know, these are questions that you've just been thrown at you and you're answering them really well. Appreciate it. Next question is for Ewan Darling. There is already a shared space for pedestrians and vehicles in Brom Street, outside the library, with another one about to be constructed in Queen Street. Do you support these? And if so, Would you like to see more of these throughout the CBD?
I like the concept of shared spaces, but I don't think it should come at the cost of car parks. Car parks bring people into the CBD. They put people into shops, and people in shops put money in tills. And that's what pays our rates, it's what pays our wages, and it's what pays taxes. And we've got to stop the war on cars. So can we make it work without stopping the war on cars? I'd like to think so. But if we can't do it without declaring war on cars, then it's a no from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ewan. Next question is for Gina Blackman. Gina, is your focus on growth and development of attractions and features to make the district a desirable place to live? Or is it more on core infrastructure maintenance and renewal, even if that means reduced community services?
Kia ora.
Kia ora, Eru. What do I think that our core focus should be and what would be my priority? I think as a ratepayer, a property owner, and someone who would like her children to be able to continue to live in this fine province, I would prioritise core infrastructure. I think there's a pathway to being able to have both, and that we can still maintain a vibrant and exciting community. But I think the way in which funds are being managed into those areas currently could be done better. So working alongside partnering with business, with companies, with our philanthropic community to deliver some really beautiful events. Those are the ones that come across with heart. They're the ones that come across and connect with us as people. And I don't believe that a lot of our events require council to dictate to us how we should be enjoying time together. And I know that sounds weird as a person wanting to stand for council, but as someone who's spent a long time working in community and working in spaces where the most beautiful experiences have come from grassroots, that would be my focus.
Thank you, Gina. Just for clarification, all these questions have been sent in by the business community, and we haven't targeted any of our candidates. The next candidate is Gordon Brown. Gordon, the issue of rough sleepers is a great concern to all of our community and having a big impact on businesses in the CBD. NPDC, along with other organizations, is working to find solutions. Funding from Council has enabled the night shelter to progress. Do you support this? If so, how will you make it sustainable?
I don't think we should make rough sleeping sustainable.
It's the night shelter we're talking about.
Oh, thank you for that. The night shelter, 800,000 over 4 years. It's a lot of money, of ratepayers' money, to solve a problem, but we've no guarantee it's going to work. What is going to work? We don't know. It's a problem endemic all over New Zealand. New Plymouth's not the only one that's suffering from this problem. But in fairness to the business community who pay rates, we need to sort it. And if it takes a gentle prod now and again to shift people involuntarily, so be it. We have to walk the line between being humanitarian but also being fair to the people who pay the most rates in our district. So, yes and no. That would be my final answer.
Thank you, Gordon. Next question is for Graham Chad. Graham, cycleways have become a contentious issue. Do you support the removal of concrete barriers to allow homeowners and businesses better access to their properties? How would council pay for it?
I thought we got one question. Should we remove them? Absolutely. How do we pay it? Good question. Should we do it so that people can get easier access to their property? There are ways and means that we can protect cyclists on the road to make it easier for vehicles to move around, to make it easier for people to get in and out of their property. But what we need to do is we need to put responsibility onto everybody for safety on the road. We don't want to be wrapping one group round in a bubble wrap and make the rest of the community suffer. We need to look at a new way of addressing the issue, and we need to do it so that it works for everyone.
Thank you, Graham. Next question is for Greg Mackay. Greg, if elected, where and how do you propose to save money? And have you looked at the financial reports to estimate the savings?
No, I haven't looked at the financial reports on savings and stuff. We'd have to re-evaluate each department, see where we can cut costs. But as long as we don't cut costs for our infrastructure that's below the ground, because that's the most important, we have to have that done. If there's any other places that you know of, that I don't know of, I'd more than welcome it, because this needs to include the community to help us do our council properly with financial burden. And it all comes down to you people. Everybody that's here, we have to look at it properly, evaluate everything. And that'll take a little bit of time. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Next, Ian Cummings.
Hit me.
Along with Stadium Taranaki's upgrade costs and continual NPDC rate increases, businesses already pay much higher rates compared to residents. Do you believe that business owners should be subsidizing the cost for residential ratepayers?
No. If we're talking about fair, then that doesn't sound fair to me. Fair?
Okay. No, that's good. We just want to have your opinion.
All right, thank you.
Next, John Woodward.
Might need another beer.
For you, John.
Yeah, got a minute.
NPDC has committed $50 million of funding for the community hub at the racecourse. Should the council cap this amount or invest more if required, and why?
Geez, these are good. You're doomed to fail either way there. Is it capping the amount and then you get to the end of the project and you can't put the roof on? Yeah, I don't... What do we do there, to be honest? Should we... What was the second part of the question, sorry?
Oh,
second part?
My apologies there. So the $50 million that was committed, should it be capped or should more be invested if required? What would be a justification?
Jeez. Okay, I'd probably take that back a step further and see whether what the financials were, whether the project's viable in the first place for me. So look, I don't have the answers on how much that project's going to cost, and if it is going to cost more, I just don't have that answer. I'm sorry. So we won't know that until the project actually reaches its conclusion. But my thing would be to have a look at the beginning of the project. Is it sustainable? Is it going to pay for itself? Are we potentially going to be topping it up again for or our grandkids going to be topping it up, would be my answer to that. I know it's not direct, but I can't give you a direct one. So, cool.
Next, Jonathan Marshall. Jonathan, you've successfully owned businesses in Taranaki, where you've had oversight of operations and budgets and so on. What has been your biggest learning from your business experience that you might apply at council?
Oh, wow. Very good. Thank you very much for that. My biggest learning all the time is people. And it's an interesting concept that an amazing councillor, I can't recall his name right now for some unknown reason, said, council's not in the business to provide everything to someone, but something to everyone. And when you're in business, you've got to take everyone that comes through your door and treat them with respect and give what they want. Sometimes it does cost you business, other times it's profitable. When it comes to council and our part we play, is that council's responsibility is to everyone, not to someone. It doesn't matter that the person might be someone who's rough sleeping or someone who's the number one person in the main industry in town. The fact is we have to deal with everyone and we have to treat everyone, and we need to be able to be something to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. Next, Kerry Wassler. Kerry, NPDC-owned Metro Plaza in the CBD is soon to be demolished. NPDC is now in partnership with a private developer to create a retail and green space. Should the council focus on more public-private partnerships for developments that enhance the CBD?
Right, the curly one. I usually like to sit down and think my answers through for quite some time, but I think that definitely a public-private partnership is a good idea, but I would like to know exactly what percentage each part of the partnership is participating in. And obviously certain areas, certain businesses will greatly benefit in the immediate vicinity of that project. And the other end of New Plymouth of Devon Street won't benefit in the slightest. So I think that's something that we've got to take into account when we do things like this. Thank you.
Thank you, Kerry. Next, Lani Mackie Hunt. Lani, there are currently over 350 hospitality businesses in New Plymouth, and the CBD already has a high number of bar licenses. Would you be in favour of limiting the number of new licenses being granted in the CBD? Or do you think the more the merrier?
Well, if you know the people that we deal with, I would say no. Straight away no. Just because it just encourages more people to do wrong things and gets our people that are homeless and wharekore to drink more and be silly on our streets. So that, to me, I say no. I do know that businesses and restaurants need to make money, but I just feel like just not thinking outside the box of creativity. Kia ora.
Thank you, Lani. Next, Mark Costa.
All right, hit me.
You've actually heard this one before. There are many projects already budgeted for in the long-term plan. Which ones are a high priority for you to support, or are there some you would like to be thrown out?
Right. Long-term plan. First and foremost, what I would like to see
is a in-depth forensic audit of all our council operations. See how much money we've got, and first and foremost, look at all our efficiencies. Then, step one, projects. There are a number of them, I need to look at the contracts and the fine print. And a number of them, I believe we should put on hold, but I need to see the contract. Is there going to be an exit clause, for instance? But so far, what I've seen is many council projects are poorly contracted, really poorly contracted. And when they blow out, it's too easy to pass on the buck to the ratepayer. This is basic contractual management, basic business function. It's not happening at the council level. We need to get, first and foremost, sort that out.
Thank you, Mark. Next, Michael O'Sullivan. Michael, other than the New Plymouth CBD, there are 12 suburban or town shopping centres in the New Plymouth District, like Inglewood, Motoroa, so on. Do you think these areas need improvement and more investment from council? And if so, how could they be funded?
Basically, you're looking at Bell Block probably needs a good makeover. And then you've got Motoroa, well, it's got empty shops again. You've got the CBD, empty shops. I don't think the council's in the market of throwing funds willy-nilly. It has to be controlled. You can't just redevelop an area and expect the ratepayer to pay for it. You've got a community problem that the community wants, but then you've got a problem that the ratepayer's got to pay for it. So, to be fair, I don't think the council should be paying for those sort of things. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. We have now Mike Morrissey. Mike, your question is, another reason for empty buildings, can you hear me? Another reason for empty buildings is businesses working out of residential homes. Should those who run businesses from home that have customers visit them be paying commercial rates? Is the question clear?
My answer to that is no. They're a small business. And being a small business, you need local people to visit them and help them. That's how we operate, because if we have small businesses that can help our community better, they can help a trust like mine better. So I say no.
Thank you, Mike. Next, Moira Irving George. Moira, do you believe that NPDC should remain a member of local government New Zealand? If so, why?
I don't agree. I think we should be withdrawing. I think if you look at the number of councils around the country that have been withdrawing from LGNZ because they don't believe they're getting good value for money. So my answer is no.
Thank you. Nice clear answer. Next is Murray Chong. Murray, if your plan is to reduce rates, what services do you think should be cut?
The best way to cut services is to don't create any new infrastructure or nice-to-haves that actually add more cost to services. That's the best way to cut the services, is don't create the services. And we've got people that have campaigned on we're not going to cut services, we're going to keep rates normal. Yet last week we had a mow or no mow, and those same people cut those services. You know, so they're on one hand they're saying one thing, on the other hand they're saying. But I say, look, let
see if we can manage what we've got and keep those services before we actually create more services by building things that need those services, because we're just topping it on one another. So let's just get back to the basics and fund and service what we've got.
Thank you, Murray. Next, Maz McDowell. Maz.
Yes.
Councillors have a role of governance at council. How well do you understand the difference between governance and operational structures? And do you have any governance experience that might help you as a councillor?
Honesty is the best policy, eh? I've got no governance. And, yeah, at the end of the day, what was that other one about governance and that other word, matey?
And governance and operational experience.
Operational experience. I've never been a business person. The thing is, I'm not a know-all. There are others that would have the answer to the question. I'm trying my best. The thing is, I'd be a voice, and it takes a crew to get to a conclusion. I'm hoping to be part of a team of 15 to have input, and then you can make a decision. And with the right advice, you don't have to think twice. Thank you.
I think that's a great answer, Maz. Use the strength of your fellow councillors. Very well done. Next is Nigel Jones. Nigel, question for you is regarding the beautification of the CBD. NPDC is finally removing some of the trees that have been a bane to businesses and property owners and replacing these with more suitable types. Would you support other options such as hanging baskets outside businesses with costs shared by council and business owners? If not, any other ideas?
I have seen some of the recent replacements with the with cutting down the big trees and putting in smaller beds. I think some of those beds are a bit dangerous. They seem to have a big lip that people could trip on. I think we're better off with maybe Nikau palms or something similar that they've got at Pukiriki. They're pretty maintenance free. I do agree that the other trees that we had dropped their leaves and became a trip hazard. So it's all good to review these things, but just be careful that you're not creating another hazard by reducing the previous hazard. Thank you.
Next, Nikki Truman. Nikki, have you ever successfully owned or managed a bricks and mortar business in Taranaki or elsewhere, which included oversight of operations budgets? You actually answered that you have done quite a bit of this before, haven't you? You've been involved in business before?
Not in a, no.
No. Okay, so this question remains then. Have you ever been involved? It's a no. But from your work experience, what is some of it that you might apply to the council as a councillor from all your learnings in your work experience so far?
Right, thank you. In my work experience, which has been mainly government funded, working at WIT in education, so really it is a balancing act. You have to provide services, you are mandated to provide certain services, but there has to be funding. And I'm sure a lot of you have known the problems, and people tonight have talked about the problems that WIT faces. So while I'm not part of the budget making that has to change with WIT, we do have to balance everything for long-term sustainability
and short-term services to the clients. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki, and I think it's admirable you've done so many years at WIT, going through all the issues that WIT has had. Next question is for Pete Bewis. Pete, your question is, what is your position on charging for entry to the Garrett Brewster Lenlai Centre and the Aquatic Centre, so far as ratepayers, locals and tourists are concerned? What are your thoughts on this charge?
I personally reckon that at present time it's not running efficient, and maybe they said it was going to be self-funded when they first opened it up, and it's never done that. So I personally reckon maybe close it down or just have it on certain days and the weekends, not as it is now 7 days a week. The bill's too much to pay for all those people, the wages. And with the other one as well, I reckon that...
You want to step back a little bit?
So ask that question, second part of that question again, please.
Just keep a good distance, about 4 inches from the mic.
About there?
And the question was about Lenlai, the Aquatic Centre, and the charges. Do you think that should continue or not?
Oh, the Aquatic Centre, yes, that's a community facility, and I want to keep that. It's like the library and that sort of thing. No, you still have a charge. You can't run it for nothing, so you have to be fair, as long as it's reasonable. No, I'm all for a bit of a charge. We'll have to pay for it somehow.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Pete. Peter Moyabu. You guessed that already.
You got to be on it.
The issue of rough sleepers is of great concern to our community. We've asked this question earlier, and having a big impact on businesses. NPDC, along with organisations, is working to find solutions. Funding from Council has enabled the night shelter to progress. Do you support this? And if so, how would you help make it sustainable?
It's not the function of NPDC to fund and finance those types of issues. That's why we have government. That's why we have the, Social Welfare Ministry of Social Development. That's where the responsibility lies. Yes. They already receive our taxes for those situations. We don't need to utilise our rates for those people. And I'm not diminishing those people. I'm just saying the responsibility lies elsewhere. Kia ora.
Thank you, Peter. Next, Ross Johnston. Ross, if your plan is to reduce rates, what services do you think should be cut?
I'm not a fan of reducing services to the people at all. My plan in reducing rates is around cost savings and better contract management. When I look at the leakage that's going on at the moment, e.g. $40 million quote for the thermal dryer, $70 million cost, that can't continue. And you've got, I alluded to the Deloitte's report, you should all look it up, it's quite scathing. So really, do we run, how do we cut costs? Probably the head count's quite high, technology, perhaps AI. I get more out of chat GPT about council business than I can across the front desk. And so maybe there's a 40% reduction could be made there. So cost equals income on all occasions, but core essential services that we've got should not be diminished whatsoever. It's a part of what makes New Plymouth such a great city that we live in today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ross. Next, Sam Bennett. Sam, a little bit more on cycleways. The initial plan, along with the South Road, Devon Street West Cycleway, was to also do this on Mangaray Road and on St. Albans Street to the port. If a government agency in the future offers funding for this or any other roads, would you take the money and just do it? or ensure proper public consultation is had and listen to the majority?
Yeah, there's a really short answer to that. Free money is not always good money. I think we've learnt that, right? So we've got, what, 3.5 million landed in our lap, and we go, cool, let's lose that for a cycleway. So I think we've cycled through that system now, and we've ended up with what we've got. And so if there's any free money coming again, we would be very, very cautious about how we would use that in the future. I am not anti-cyclist. Please take that with you. I do care about cyclists. However, we didn't get this one right. Devon Street one is a mess. And we've got some work to do to reverse that, right? So free money sounds all good, but be very careful, because not all gifts are great gifts, and we need to be right on the money next time about how we utilise it, or even accept it, or maybe send it back to Wellington and they can give us our GST, which we should be keeping as an income stream. Thanks.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Sarah Sutherland, for coming up. That's been announced. Very good. Question for you is, there are many applications made to council for road closures from event organisers, which can affect business owners. If there are objections after consultation, it is up to councillors to decide or to approve or deny. Do you support road closures for events? Yes, no, and why?
Well, the first question is, what events are we talking about? We're talking about things like Americana, that sort of thing.
Good.
Oh, sorry, I was answering him. Well, there's so many different types of events, so it's a bit hard to say what the blanket rule is. I don't know if I can actually, this sounds silly, but I don't know if I can actually answer that without knowing particularly what we're talking about. Like some events, like Americana, which does get the road closures, I don't know whether the amount of people there, the extra foot traffic improves the, businesses make more money, or certain businesses, not others. So I think it really depends on how much benefit to the community the events that are being closed for. So things are just short term, like a marathon or something like that, or people going through quickly. I think that's most probably can be done, but I think you've got to give people lots of warning, and make sure that and find out if there's something that's really real reason why it could cause hardship to a particular business. So, thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. You said you consulted businesses, and that's a good thing. The next person is Sean Clare. Sean.
Yes.
Your question, you have the benefit of having heard most of the questions already, is how well do you understand the difference between governance and operational structures? Again, knowing that councillors are in governance. And what governance experience have you had, if any, that you could apply here, or even operational experience that might give you a better understanding of how decisions are made?
Governance is pretty much what's been set by central government. They dictate through the Local Government Act in 2002 how they should operate, and the role from the councillors is to abide by those rules. Operations is a little bit different. It's run by the CEO, and so the decisions made amongst that governance gets pretty much put onto the CEO to make that happen. So that's my understanding of the two. As an operation-wise, well, I've had my own business for 13 odd years, so operations is, I do everything from the quoting to the installing to everything, so every aspect of the business I do myself, so it's interesting watching all this unfold.
Thank you, Sean. Next, Simon Chadwick. Simon, what are the main sectors that you believe money needs to be spent on by council, and where would that money come from?
Right, I'm all about the core infrastructure and getting back to basics. So making sure our water and our roads are working. Core sectors is just doing the very basic things that you expect a council to do and not doing lots of extra trimming. So I think we should be looking at ways to cut back spending across the board, including a lot of good suggestions we've heard tonight here, cutting back the number of days or hours the Land Life Centre is open as a way of pulling back some of the spending. I could go on a big list, but yeah, just get back to basics.
Thank you, Simon. Next, Steve Francis. Steve, your question is, if the proposed extension of the coastal walkway goes ahead, should there be an option to allow more traders to operate on the walkway? If yes, what type of businesses would you like to see there?
Good question. Yeah, I definitely am strongly in favour of the coastal walkway. I think there's a huge cross-section of the community that benefit from that sort of infrastructure. I do think it is an opportunity to have some targeted business trading on there. Obviously, needs to be quite selective in making sure that it's culturally appropriate, that it's not causing other problems for the flow of traffic and that sort of thing. But yeah, generally in favour of it.
Cool.
Thank you.
Teresa, this question has been asked before. Cycleways have become a contentious issue. Do you support the removal of concrete barriers to allow homeowners and businesses better access to their properties? If so, how would council pay for it?
So it's two questions.
Yeah.
One, yes, I would approve the removal of some of the barriers, not just for access to properties and businesses, but for parking for businesses. I was talking to a business owner in Blagdon a few days ago, and he said he's had a 30% reduction in his income since the parking got taken away from Blagdon, and he's really worried, and he wants to know who he can talk to about that and why he wasn't spoken to before. So I drive that route several times a day because I live in Omata, and my feeling is that it's just become less safe for motorists, and some of the areas are really tight. The parking's in inappropriate spaces, and the intersections have also become very tight. So I think I support cycleways, but they need to be designed well, and I think that the businesses and residents that they affect need to be consulted properly.
Thank you, Teresa. Last question we have now is for Tina Kosh. Tina, there has been a noticeable decrease in revenue from parking, and it's also owed mainly to less people coming into the CBD, particularly since the increase to $3 per hour and the new parking meters were installed. Do you think there should be paid parking in the CBD, and would you support a time-limited period of free parking?
Might just put that down a bit, I'm a bit short. Yes, the parking meters. I know myself, I have gone in there and found, oh dear, forgot my card, only have coins, but I'm near a parking meter that doesn't have coins. I personally believe that 60 free minutes of parking would be great. Although, again, it comes back to the question of where is the revenue coming from. So it's kind of one of those, you're, dare I say it, damned if you do and damned if you don't. I really would like to see some free parking in the CBD. I think the parking meters are great, but it does limit a lot of people. I know, for example, and I'll use my husband, he does not have a debit card. So when he goes into town, he either has to take mine or ensure that he has coins in his pocket. So basic things that can impact on who actually can get into town and find parking.
Thank you, Tina. When I want to find a parking meter, I normally look for a cluster of 3 or 4 people trying to work things out. Then I know there's one happening somewhere. We need to be patient. With everything new, there's a period of learning. A huge thank you to all the candidates. Thank you for your time. Thank you for putting your hand up, for people who've been on the council before. It's greatly appreciated that you're running for council, so can we please give them a big round of applause. To the audience for having the patience to be sitting here, and they are the ones you're trying to woo, to vote for you. Please give them a big round of applause. And to Michelle, who's been the main organizer of this event, along with the rest of the chamber team, a round of applause for them. Once again, on behalf of the chamber and BARA, we would like to thank you all for attending. There is no doubt that we live in the best city in New Zealand, Aotearoa. And 14 of you will be trusted to continue to grow and develop the city and district and to punch well above our weight. Our district needs to stand out from the rest of New Zealand. We must remain the energy province of the country. We need to attract the best in business and innovation. We need to attract and grow our slice of the tourism pie, both nationally and internationally. We know that all of you have the best interests of New Plymouth District at heart. Good luck to you all.
Thanks, man.
We call to Karakia to bless us with peace and harmony. Sorry. Just a simple one. Kirunga, Kiraro, Kiroto, Kiwaho, Lire, Lire,
Palmarian.
Good night, everybody, and thank you once again.